Well, good day, snow fans, and welcome to the Snow Church for Thursday already, February, January 19th. And guess what? We got to stay local or semi-local for the live snow video of the segment. This is Northern Michigan University in Marquette, Michigan, and you can see the wonderful snows coming down. I almost chose Houghton, but you know what? It is snowing heavier in Marquette, and they don't always see that. So figured I would toss them a bone. And isn't this wonderful? It is snowing here in the Keweenaw as well. Started up about an hour ago. My apologies for being a little bit late this morning. The board wasn't cooperating real well. It needed a reboot. But now she's running fine and dandy. So let's take a look at the 24-hour snowfall that has occurred, ending this morning around sunrise or thereabouts. And looky here. The Northwoods of Wisconsin getting a decent coating of snow. Nebraska, holy cow. Or Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska. What do you need 18 inches of snow for in central Nebraska? Cows aren't happy there. Don't know how much the price of cattle futures went up this morning, but I bet they did tick up a little bit because this kind of weather doesn't make them happy. At any rate, then the snow streaked across northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, into east central Minnesota, and it's just now building into the UP. In fact, we can see that here on the radar. Look at how fast this thing works. I should really reboot it more often, but this is all snow coming down here and wrapping around the low. So you still have a couple more hours of snow to go through in these areas, which means a couple more inches of snow. And then this energy will come and wrap around up in this way. And even though it looks like northern Wisconsin, you're kind of over with, I don't think so. It looks like this energy will work its way in and provide some fairly decent additional snowfall. By the way, not wearing the rally cap today because we got the snows in here. I'm wearing the stormy cap, Stormy Cromer, because we got a storm going on. All right, let's get to the models here. What I've done is I've zoomed in on the Midwest so that we can see things a little bit better, like butter. And let's just go up through this storm's period, right about there. And that would be Friday morning or so. And isn't this interesting how it almost just decides, let's screw the Keweenaw. We don't like those guys. Interestingly enough, the GFS, I think, is even more along the lines of let's screw the Keweenaw, because that's its. I'm going to go back a couple so we can get lined up at the same time. That it's just like, let's get good snows out here over Lake Superior, and then over the Keweenaw. Now I don't want anything to happen there. What a wonderful winter we're leading here. But you know what? I can't really complain. We got snows on the ground, finally some snows in the air, and the forecast looks good for additional snow. In fact, going back to the GFS, nothing comes with reckless abandon in a big hurry. But over the next 10 days, I'll show you what the GFS or what the European is indicating to occur. So that's like Friday evening. And then we get a little bit of lake effect snow over the weekend. And then we get a clipper system to come in here, bring some more lake effect snows, and then a stronger clipper system towards the end of next week. And that's when we really start to see it pile up. So let's hope this comes true, because what this model is saying is that between now and the end of next week, just about all of the UP will have seen, 17 inches of snow or so, even into northern Wisconsin. Northern lower Michigan doing pretty good. Minnesota a little bit quieter just because we're going to start to get more into a northwesterly flow, which means clipper systems, which really means lake effect snow. Clipper systems tend to not give Minnesota and Iowa a whole lot of snow, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll go to the GFS and see what it indicates here in the long run. And I don't know if it's quite as aggressive with the snows. Yeah, not really quite as aggressive with the lake effect. It just doesn't indicate the pure Arctic air to come dropping down into the lower 48. But like I've been saying, I think that is in error. For some reason, the GFS just really wants to keep the pattern, the upper air pattern, the jet stream, not much amplification to it, meaning the troughs and the ridges aren't real big. And when that happens, you just sort of have blah weather. Cold stays to the cold, to the north, warm stays to the south. And I think we're getting into a period here where it's going to be a little bit different than that. Reason being is, here's the jet stream. And this is what we're kind of currently, our current situation. Actually, we'll go to our current situation here. This is where we're at right now. This trough here with this low right here is the one that's supporting the storm across the upper Midwest. Couple things to watch. The polar vortex across Green Bay. What does it do? Does it stay over Green Bay or does it slide west and become entrenched over North America? The Siberian low, what does it do? It's already pretty far east now, which is a good thing, but does it stay there? Does it want to slide back to the west? And then also any kind of ridging over Alaska. Well, class, let's find out. Here we are. We'll go to the beginning of next week. Okay, so here we are, the beginning of next week. Polar vortex is getting itself better organized. It's sitting between Greenland, which is right here, and like Ellesmere Island, the islands of northern Canada right here. Siberian low, look at that. That's things sitting right over, I don't know if that's the Korean peninsula. I really need to do my geography because I know this is the Kamchatka. This is where I love it to be, right here, but it's right here. So it's very close and got some ridging more along the west coast than Alaska, but there's a weak sort of extension of the ridge up into Alaska. And then let's just finish it out. And here, look at that. All right, polar vortex right over where we would want it to be for cold and lake effect snows. This low, the Siberian low, about where we'd want it to be, maybe a little bit further east, which isn't really causing Alaska Ridge to be highly amplified, but it's Alaskan Ridge is still there. So everything looks to be in place. Now, this is about midday on Saturday, January 28th. So it still looks like we are going to be finishing out the month on a cold and snowy note. I guess I can back up in my own forecast for the weekend and into the first half of next week. It's looking as though we won't have any more big storms occur, but there will be one coming in about Monday, I believe, that brings some snows to the central Midwest. And then by Tuesday, Wednesday, we kind of get back into the northern Midwest with light snows. And all of these events look to be like 1 to 3 type inch snowfall producers. And then by the time we get to the very end, a clipper comes down, brings probably 2-3 inches of snow to most of the Northwoods except for Minnesota. And then the gates to the Arctic open up and lake effect snows come pounding down. So for those of you that really want to see the deep powder, you may very well have your chance at that Not this coming weekend, but next weekend, the last weekend in January, up in the lake effect snow belts of the Upper Peninsula. Hard to say exactly which belt. Will it be like the Keweenaw? Will it be over to the east, Munising, Grand Marais? Or will it be over to the west of us? The big snow country, Ironwood, and Bessemer, and Lake Wogibic. That's something I'd probably be able to tell you about 3 or 4 days in advance, not 10 days in advance. But what I can tell you is my thoughts on the last half of January becoming snowy and wintry again look to have verified. Now, how long is this going to last? Well, I can't tell you. I'm keeping my fingers. It's going to last more than a week. Longer than the last 2 ones did. If you remember, about the middle of November, we had a snowy period. And then about the last half of December, we had a snowy period. And now, last half of January, we had a snowy period. So let's hope that this one doesn't fizzle out. And as we start to work through February, the weather goes again. Because, I don't know, it's just kind of depressing. I guess basically by the time we get to March, maybe it could go because then we're that close to the end of winter that by the time anything got going again, it would just be sort of one last hurrah. But that's what I got for you today. Is it Friday? No, it's not Friday yet. It feels like it should be Friday. It's been a long week. I've had a lot of things going on, so that's why I haven't, had to go have my esophagus scoped. It's a regular thing. I had that on Tuesday. Yesterday, I had to go to a doctor's appointment. My right arm is just about paralyzed. Actually, it's not bad this morning, but I couldn't even lift it. Could not even feed myself. Well, it's hard to now. What? It's a super duper bad case of tennis elbow, is what she said. So, rest and some magic cream she gave me. But at any rate, I will be here tomorrow, barring any kind of major disaster. So have a great day, everybody. It's snowing in the Northwoods, and that's a happy thing. Take care, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Keep them sticks on the ice, will yas?